I think one of the biggest areas of law in New Jersey that's growing is bullying cases against school boards, where a child's being bullied and there's complaints by the parents, and the school board or the teachers or the principals don't take steps to protect these children. And it can be catastrophic because some of these kids, harm themselves.
Welcome to the Tip the Scales podcast, where we discuss running and growing your law firm. I'm your host, Maria Monroy, president and co-founder of LawRank. Today, I am joined by Rick Albuquerque. We talked about community involvement, but this is to a whole other level. I hope it encourages you guys to get involved with the community. And don't worry, there's an ROI from it. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Rick Albuquerque, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I was telling someone that I was recording with you and they're like, what's his last name? And I'm like, Albuquerque. He's like, wait, he's not from Albuquerque? I'm like, I don't think so.
No, but some people think I'm from Albuquerque. I had a client call me from New Mexico, see if I could help her with a problem, landlord-tenant in Albuquerque court. I had to tell her I was in New Jersey, but I gave her the number for Albuquerque Legal Services.
That's funny. Do you know what the history of your last name is?
It's Portuguese.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's actually not uncommon.
Really?
Portugal, yeah.
That's very cool. Have you been to Portugal?
Not since I was 20 years old.
Okay, that counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have a good friend who goes every summer, so he's bothering me to join him, so I gotta...
Yeah, you gotta go.
But everybody else seems to be going.
Yeah, we had dinner with, oh my God, I'm gonna mess up his last name, Jeff...
Antman?
No, Riza? Reef?
Oh, Jeff Reef.
Reef.
Yeah.
He has citizenship from Portugal.
Oh.
Yeah, he got it a while back when it was super easy. I guess now it's tougher. But yeah, he told me that, which I thought was really cool because we've looked into it.
Portugal has the highest dual passport residency of any other country with America.
Yeah, it makes sense because they've made it really, really easy. I guess it's harder now, supposedly. I haven't looked into it in a few years.
Well, because all the Americans and Europeans are going over there and purchasing all the property.
Yeah.
And making it unaffordable for the Portuguese citizens. Yeah.
That sucks. That's actually happening in Mexico City right now. So many digital nomads, including ourselves at some point, moved there and the prices skyrocketed and people are really, really upset about it.
Yeah.
But I guess now with the internet, especially post-COVID, that's going to happen.
Yeah. People can work from anywhere.
I know. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I keep hearing that you have this amazing community involvement. I want to pick your brain on that. Tell us a little bit more about
sure.
that. Wait, before we do that, let me give the audience some context. Maybe tell us a little bit about your firm and, what you do and where you are.
Thank you. I'm a shareholder with the law firm of Darcy Johnson Day.
Okay.
We're primarily based here in Atlantic County, New Jersey, right outside Atlantic City.
Yep.
But we do have offices throughout the state, including one we just opened up in Jersey City, which is Hudson County, right across from Manhattan.
Yes, my favorite place.
Yep, we have 15 lawyers.
Oh, wow, very cool.
And we are almost exclusively personal injury work for plaintiffs.
Okay.
We also have a school law practice. One of our partners handles work for representing school boards, but also representing parents and children who have issues with school boards. So
what kind of issues?
So there's a really big thing now, obviously, with bullying.
Okay.
And so if your child gets charged, may not be the right word, but accused of bullying, it can go on their permanent record. So you have very young children, elementary school children who have this bullying charge. So the parents will hire attorneys to contest that designation. So you have a hearing in front of the school board. And if you lose there, you go before an administrative law judge. If you lose there, you can keep going. But obviously parents are very concerned about their children being labeled as bullies. So it can be an emotional type thing. But obviously, you have to make sure it's the right type of case.
Got it. I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's a huge thing. I think one of the biggest areas of law in New Jersey that's growing is bullying cases against school boards, where a child's being bullied and there's complaints by the parents, and the school board or the teachers or the principals don't take steps to protect these children. And it can be catastrophic because some of these kids, harm themselves because of all that stuff. So it's a really expansive area of law here in New Jersey.
But you sometimes represent the kids that are being labeled as bullies, and sometimes you're representing the kids that are being bullied, and the school board isn't doing anything about it?
Yes.
It's funny because a lawyer here, so we're at NJAJ at the Boardwalk, as a seminar or a conference. What do you guys call
Conference,
it?
yeah.
Conference. My first time here. I'm actually here because of you and Zagi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, no, thank you for having us. So he was telling us, and I think the case is in New York. I could be wrong, but a case where an autistic kindergartner was, the principal slapped them. And it had been prior to the principal slapping them, and nonverbal kid on top of it all. There had been 6 weeks where the teacher had been like keeping notes of like the verbal abuse and physical abuse that the kid was enduring. Like, I guess one time they had like shoved the kid's arm down like really forcefully. And none of this came out until after the slap happened, to where the parents found out, because the kid is nonverbal.
Yeah. How did they find out?
The teacher, I think.
Okay.
I believe. But so him and Ziggy were like discussing like the merits of the case and is it worth anything or not? Do you think it's worth something?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to have him contact you if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
I'm going to tell him.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, keep going. Sorry. We see, I told you we would derail,
Yeah.
did I not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We primarily, like I said, are down here in South Jersey.
Okay.
And we represent all kinds of different people. Basically, when people ask us what we do, if you've been injured in some way, car accident, a fall down, medical negligence, nursing home abuse,
Okay.
all that kind of stuff.
What about workers' comp?
We have 5 lawyers that just do workers' comp.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So really anything injury related, anything under the PI workers' comp umbrella.
Yes. And we are a very active trial firm. I would say we've probably tried more cases in South Jersey than any other law firm that's down here.
Okay.
We have a bunch of attorneys who are certified, which is difficult
Amazing.
designation
Yeah,
here in New
that's
Jersey.
awesome.
Requires a lot of trial experience.
Yeah.
So that helps us get a lot of referral work from other law firms, both in-state and out-of-state. One of my partners, Andy Darcy, works with a lot of out-of-state lawyers, probably a bunch that you know.
Yeah.
That'll hire him to be local counsel for all kinds of mass tort cases, pre-sexual abuse cases, Boy Scout, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of that stuff is venued here in New Jersey.
You guys handle some tough, those are some tough, emotionally, I would argue. I mean, I don't know, right? But
yeah,
it sounds like that would be tough.
Yeah. And then one of our partners, Jessica Ramirez, who's up in Hudson County, was just elected to the assembly, which was exciting.
It is exciting.
She's really focusing on sexual assault and abuse cases, representing people that have been abused in all kinds of settings. So that's like a passion of hers.
Yeah.
So that's something that we're all kind of trying to get behind it and learn more about and help her with, because these people are some of the most vulnerable people who don't really have anyone to help them or speak up for them.
All right. And this community involvement that you guys do, give us some history on it, and then I have a ton of questions for you.
Sure. So, about 10 years ago or so, we did a lot of the normal marketing that law firms do, traditional marketing in terms of phone book, billboards. And, obviously there's some return on that, but we sat down, the 6 shareholders of the firm sat down and decided we were going to pull every single dollar from that traditional marketing and refocus all that in helping the community in terms of, if anyone contacts us, can you sponsor this? Can you donate to this charity, local teams, sports teams, high school? We don't say no to anybody.
Wow. Do you want to sponsor my podcast?
Sure.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
There probably no famous quote from Ben Franklin, do well by doing good. We built a big plaque in our law office. It's right up on the wall, right when you walk in and you see it to remind us. And so that's what we try to do. We try to help. And of course, there's return because people appreciate it.
Of course.
And I get tons of phone calls. You donated to my kids' football team so they could get new jerseys.
Right.
I was just in a car accident, stuff like that.
Now, what prompted this? Like, did something happen where you guys really had to like sit down and have this like tough conversation of like, hey, we need to pull these funds to do this? Like, what was, I guess, the catalyst, the trigger?
We try to always participate, not just send a check.
Okay.
So, for instance, the Police Unity Tour will be doing a fundraiser event. We have lawyers go, staff goes.
And is it mandatory for your staff to attend these community involvement?
All voluntary. All
voluntary,
yes.
Okay.
And
but what happens if someone doesn't attend any? Does it matter to you guys? Is it like a culture thing? Like,
it's a good question. We haven't really run across a situation where nobody wanted to participate. In fact, sometimes we have more people who want to get involved than they really want us to say. Yeah. Like, for instance, the food bank. Every year we send a big donation, but then we go there for Thanksgiving and we help hand out the food to people who are coming to the food bank. So we'll have like 10, 15 people there.
Wow.
That's one of the events people really get a lot of satisfaction from. So we actually have to cap the number of lawyers and staff that can go.
Now, this sounds like a full-time job, just coordinating, paying everyone, signing people up to attend, participating, contributing. Do you have someone that runs this now?
Yeah. So we have an assistant office manager.
Okay.
Whose primary focus is to organize all these events.
Wow. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah. It's a full-time job because, for instance, if we're donating or participating in like a local running event, like a 5K to support whatever the cause may be, we'll send 5 or 6 runners, we'll get T-shirts, all that kind of stuff. So she's got to coordinate all that. She does a great job, and it is a full-time job. I just asked her a couple of questions to try to prepare for this a little bit. And, just in the last 12 months, she's probably organized and donated and got involved in some manner with over 100 different events.
Wow.
Yeah.
Over 100 different events.
Yeah. We pledged to donate to the community in one fashion or another, at least $100,000 a year.
Okay. I have so many things that are running through my mind right now because I would hope that these organizations that you are donating to are mentioning you on their website and like linking back for local SEO and just for SEO in general would be amazing. We can talk about that offline. And then the other thing is when you go to these events, are you guys like setting up? Like, do you have like a table with like swag? Okay. And when you do that, are you asking for reviews?
So sometimes,
okay.
If it's a pure community event, like for instance, New Jersey has something called National Night Out, which it's every local police department has basically an outdoor event, and they have rides and all this interactive like shows with the police dogs. And there's literally thousands of people and food vendors. And so we will sponsor that. We'll set up 2 big tents.
Okay.
And like this year, we got the characters that dress up like, the Incredible Hulk or whatever. Yeah. And we set up a photo booth, and the kids come in and they take pictures, and it's printed out immediately for them.
And does that have your logo when it prints out?
It has a little bit of a logo, yeah.
Good, okay.
We give them a bag, we give them a T-shirt, and they walk away. They're happy. Their kids are smiling. So something like that. We're on the ground, so to speak.
Yeah.
And really interacting with the community, and that's more of the focus because it supports the local police department also, which we're big supporters of law enforcement, both police and fire, and donate a lot of time to their events and charities and stuff like that.
Do you guys also do like the food trucks and things of that nature, or is it more just like the swag and the attending and stuff like that?
We'll do whatever anyone needs us to do. So if it's an event where they want to have a food truck there, but they can't afford to pay for the food truck, they'll say, would you be our food truck sponsor?
Okay.
We'll do that for them. It's what they need.
Got it.
That we try to fill in the gap, and that's the best way we can help them.
So what would be amazing and I don't want to make it all about SEO, but I think there's a lot of synergy in any form of advertising. And I think grassroots community involvement is a form of advertising. I think a much more noble form than like putting up a billboard because you are helping the community. But if you could get one of those little like clear signs where you put a paper in and the paper's like our swag or enjoying our food, leave us a review, and you have a QR code that they scan and it goes to your Google My Business listing. Because then you're asking them for a favor, which they feel like they're giving back to you. And then it creates like, I feel like it might create more of a connection, and like they're seeing your brand again. They're actually reviewing you. It's one of the reviews that they've left, but it helps the local SEO component because we're really big on reviews, right? I'm sure you are too internally at the firm, but this is another great way to get reviews. So we tell all of our clients that do local events, like utilize those events also to have people leave you a review.
Yeah. So I think we're just starting to figure that out.
What's crazy to me is that you're doing like the hard part, right? Like we typically tell our clients, like, sponsor some local, events, get involved with the community, get the community to give you reviews. Like this isn't, I think sometimes law firms forget, like we've advanced so much in the digital age that they forget that you should still network and go to conferences and help the legal community, but you should also be involved in your actual community, right? I think people, especially like the newer generations, the younger law firms, they think that's like a thing of the past. I'm like, that is never going to be a thing of the past, right? So I would argue you're doing like the hard part, right? That's what I would call the hard part, is like organizing this and getting out there. So the easy thing is put up a sign and get them to leave you a review.
Yeah, and that goes well with our efforts to really participate.
Right.
Be out there with the community. We do Field of Dreams every year.
What's that?
That is an organization that plays baseball.
Okay.
And it's all disabled children.
Oh, wow.
And so they're in wheelchairs or crutches or whatever the case may be. And they create 2 teams and you assist the children. Like when they come up to bat, you'll help them swing. You help them run to first base. It's incredibly to see the smiles on these children and the efforts that they put in to be involved in a sporting event, which they're not usually able to do. It's incredibly rewarding. Now, we could just send a check to Field of Dreams, which that we do, and they appreciate it. But when we come out, we have 20, 30 people there playing the game with the children and parents. The parents thank us. They're so thankful and thoughtful that we actually get out there and participate with these kids. It's really, really rewarding. And so I'm sure there's some type of community benefit in terms of the firm.
Right.
But, it creates a lot of camaraderie with the lawyers and the staff also, which is important. Yeah.
And when you guys go to these events, do you wear like branded t-shirts?
Yeah, I probably have 50 different branded t-shirts.
That's awesome. That's very cool.
Whenever a new client comes into the office, they get a mug, they get a t-shirt, they get a pen. They love it. They could leave with a bag full of swag.
Yeah.
So they're happy.
I'm sure this is like the question that everyone is wondering. So you do 100 events a year or 100, what would you call it? Community involvement events, I guess.
Yeah.
What is the return on investment?
So we probably should track that better.
Yeah.
It's a very informal tracking method. I got an email yesterday while I was here at the conference. Hey, you really helped my son's whatever the case may be. I was just in a car accident. So obviously I know that that's directly related to our being out there and helping the community. But do I report that to anybody specifically at the firm and track it? No. And we probably should do that a little better. However, I guess the best way to explain it is we don't do the community stuff to get the work.
Right.
It's an offshoot of it.
Of course.
We just want to help and give back.
Well, and that's the best way, because if you're not waiting, I think the problem with traditional media is that people are like waiting for that return to kick in, and it can be really stressful because you're spending all this money in billboards and TV and radio, and it doesn't happen overnight, right? You have to saturate the market, and the cost to go in can be really significant. But in your case, if you're like, no, what matters first is helping the community, and then yeah, it happens to work, but that's not the primary reasons. Like if you build it, they will come type of thing. Like if that's not the primary reason, like we're just going to go out and help the community because we're passionate about it, we care. And then that's turning out to like generate all these cases. I don't even mean like tracking it, like you go into your case management software or Lead Docket or something like that and you're like attributing it, but just like intuitively, like you did the traditional media for a while, then you switched to this. Did you see a drop in cases? Did you see an increase in cases? How did it translate?
Definitely an increase.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's not even close.
That's amazing.
It's not even close.
Because they know you care.
Yeah.
Right? Like what better way of showing a potential client that you care that by being involved in the community?
Yeah. So we'll have clients or lawyers or staff. They'll be like in some airport in Madison, Wisconsin, and there's someone wearing our t-shirt.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
We get those all the time.
Oh my God. That's like my dream. Because, we give away the LawRank Nike hats, and I've never seen one out in what I would call the wild, right? People have, and they've like sent me pictures and told me like Mary Lou Potter, MLP from Walker Advertising, was in Dubai and saw someone wearing our hat and like went up to them and took a picture and sent it to me. That was really cool, but I haven't been able to see that. So that's really cool that you guys have.
One of the things we also did is because of a lot of these groups don't really have a great place to hold some of the events they want to do. So we actually took some extra storage space in our office and built what I'll term as an Irish pub.
What?
Yeah, it's bar, pool table.
Are we invited?
Yeah, wine tasting section.
Really? We
Yeah.
need to throw a party.
And so what we did 2 weeks ago is there's an organization called Cut for Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And they raise money by one of the coaches will get his head shaved, and they'll look for sponsors and donations and things like that. And, we say, come over to the office, do this in our pub. And, it's really, really fun. And they'll sit him down and put an apron around him and shave his head. And in the meantime, everyone's having cocktail or food or whatever. And it's really, really festive. And they raise a lot of money, and they don't have to pay a bar to do this.
Right.
So they save that as part of, their overhead.
That's amazing.
Yeah. This is our second year doing it. We probably had about 100 people there.
That's really, really cool. Yeah. And it's interesting because I was listening to a podcast episode of Huberman, who's very controversial right now, but I love his stuff. And they've done studies on like what makes people happy. And like in a nutshell, it's like giving to others, right? So what you're doing is like the best thing that like you could be doing for your health. Like there is a correlation that they see. And even they were saying that like high school kids, college because they can't think super long term, like, oh, you're gonna, go through college for 4 years and then you're gonna go work and, make a lot of money. That to them, that's like such a long time period. But if they phrase it like, what you're doing now, one day you're gonna go get this job and you're gonna help the community, I guess that makes them work harder, like because the motivation starts like right then and there, because they're like, okay, well, maybe this is really tough right now, but I'm doing it because I'm going to give back. I guess they've done all these studies on it, and it makes them perform better and like be more focused and like work harder, which I found fascinating because I never would have thought to say to my, my kids aren't teens yet, but when they're teens, like, hey, this is why this matters, right? Like it's always like, do your homework because you have to and because I told you to, right? Instead of like, look, you're learning because one day you're going to go out and give back.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I was like, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Right. So it's really cool that you do it this way. So I know I always try to like everything you do, I'm like thinking of like the marketing side of things because I can't help it. Because again, you're doing what I would consider the hard things, and you're doing it for the right reason, which I would argue is rare, in my opinion. I don't want to say that, I just think it's like that's the primary reason. Someone could get upset at me for saying that, but I would argue that that's rare. I think most law firms are doing it just because they want to get their firm out there. And it's great that they're also helping the community, but I don't know that always comes first. And maybe I'm wrong, right? But as you're talking about all this, my other question to you is, are you documenting this and posting it on social media?
Yes.
Okay, good.
maybe not the best way we should be.
Okay.
But we have a Facebook page. We have 10,000 likes.
Okay.
Which is pretty good for
That's
a
phenomenal.
small law firm.
Yeah.
And so when we do one of these events, like when we do Cut for Cancer, we'll post a photo of, the coach with his head shaved and 30 people in the background, other coaches, baseball players, members of the firm. And, we have like a community counts motto.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll post a lot of these community events on our Facebook. And
like upcoming events?
No, after they're done.
Okay.
We post a picture just to show what the event was, people smiling, happy about it. Just because we want, the community to know that we're trying to do good things for them.
Okay. If I were you, I know you're not asking me for my advice, but I can't help myself.
I'll take it.
Okay. Are you doing a newsletter?
We don't do a newsletter.
Okay. I would hire an in-house marketing person to post preemptively, like, we're going to be doing this event, come join us, come do this, get involved, whatever. Then post the way you're posting after, but I would have them make videos. Like, I would go live on Instagram. I would do videos of, hey, we're here, we're doing this thing, like recording, showing your swag, posting it. And then I would use the newsletter the same way. So I would post upcoming events that you're going to be involved in, and then pictures from past events. Mm-hmm. And you want to get all of your past clients. And I would like even get people at events to sign up for the newsletter.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
You have so much you could do with it. Like literally.
Yeah.
Super exciting. And I'd post pictures on every single platform. So Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, or X, sorry, Elon. And then I would do videos. And I would just hire like a young person just because they're like super good with technology, like straight out of college that knows how to do this and pump out a bunch of content.
Yeah, that would be great. That's a great idea because probably would get a lot of views.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's all local people. People like to see what's going on with their neighbors and businesses. Yeah, so that's definitely something we want to talk to you about. Maybe you can help us get that done.
We don't do that. I'm just giving you ideas. Yeah. We don't do any of this. I mean, we do the SEO portion of it, but I just think that, again, you're like doing the hard part and with like the right reason. But you should capitalize on it because why not? Like the more people that see you, the more people you can help, the more people that find you. That's the way that I look at it, right? Like, why not help more people? Right?
Absolutely.
And this is a way to stay top of mind because somebody could have attended like an event that you sponsored 5 years ago, but now they see you on social and now their friend was in a car accident. And because they just saw you on social, because you guys posted a video, they're like, oh, you should contact this firm, right? So like you want to stay top of mind. And I would just make it fun, like someone that is like comfortable in front of the camera, that can even like do quick interviews, show some of the footage from the event, show your swag, let people know of upcoming events. Like, that's what I would do if I were you.
We had an event at our pub, we call it the pub,
yep.
And the organization that was having their event there had someone doing exactly what you just described, doing little interviews with the lawyers and people who are in the organization. It was fun. People were like really enjoying it.
Yeah. If you hire someone, when they start posting, text me and I'll look at it and I'll tell you if I think it's good or not.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I'm not an expert, but just like intuitively, and like we kind of do it to some extent for LawRank and like, the podcast and stuff like that. So I can put eyeballs on it, send me the newsletter, like we do an internal newsletter. I can definitely like help you to some extent.
Great. Thank you so much. Yeah.
No, you're sitting on a gold mine, in my opinion. Like you're not capitalizing on it in every way, right?
Well, one of my partners who really spearheaded this would love to hear that.
Yeah. No, you guys are like, what you guys are doing is phenomenal. Like I would love for all of our clients to do this because it makes you a local business. Like
I can't tell you how many times an event will happen and I'll see someone there and we didn't know about it. And I'll say, why didn't you tell us? You do so much we don't want to ask. And, that's not what we want to hear. We want to say, if you're doing something and you need help, we want to be the first people you call.
Okay. So I would have a community involvement page on your website that is updated after every event. But at the top, I would have a call to action button that says like, have an event for us, just whatever. I don't know. I can't think eloquently how to phrase it, but we could come up with something great. And it like you click on it and then they fill out a form and then that form goes to your coordinator.
Yeah.
That way people, because sometimes I think people are also, maybe they don't want to call and ask, but if they're filling out a form, it's like very straightforward. And then I would put that also on your newsletter. So I would put a call to action like, have an event you want us to be involved in or sponsor or whatever. Same, it goes to the same form. They fill it out and it goes to your coordinator and then she can filter through that.
Sure. That's great. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And, people are interacting on your webpage, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then we can retarget. There's like so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
much. Very exciting stuff.
I might have to have a second job at the firm.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is.
Yeah. So it's all good stuff.
Yes.
Thankfully. And we're getting more and more, people are, reaching out more and more, which is what we want, because, it's not easy to ask people for money or sponsorships. You feel awkward.
That's why I'm saying like a form would be great because it removes that awkwardness of like having to call the firm. Although I think you guys have made it very like welcoming, like you're very much like, hey, we want to help, right? But you could even have a video on the community involvement page that's like talks about it like, hey, we're very passionate about helping the community. If you have any event that you'd like us to be involved in, please fill out the form, let us know. I think that's like a no-brainer. Like that community involvement page on your website, no-brainer.
Right.
You could even make it so that instead of having to post after every event, the organizations you're always contributing to, I'll show you right now when we're done because we do it for some of our clients. You just have like their logo and like a little blurb of each organization that you support.
Okay, great. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, not a lot, but a few have web pages and things like that, and they will post thank yous and we'll kind of like share it and link it.
Yes.
So we're doing a little bit of it. I'm sure we're not doing it properly.
So the other thing is when you have these events and you take pictures, ideally those would be uploaded to your Google business profiles so that when someone's like searching for a lawyer, they see you and they see how involved you are in the community. They're like, okay, this firm actually cares, right? That's what we're going for. So like, that's like another thing you should do or your SEO agency should be doing for you. So like, for example, our clients, they have a folder that they upload everything to, and then we pull from that folder to upload it to Google business profiles.
You're getting way too technical for me.
Sorry. I just get excited when someone has like all these areas of opportunity and they've done like the hard stuff. I'm like, all right, let's go do all this now.
My partner's smart enough to work with.
Perfect.
You. May forget it.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. This was really fun.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was my pleasure.
Thank you so much to Rick for everything he shared with us today. If you found this story valuable, please share it with someone you want to see succeed. Subscribe so you never miss an episode and leave a 5-star review. I'm serious, you guys. You're not leaving 5-star reviews and I'm getting like demoralized. I'm starting to think no one's listening, although I see the download numbers. Thank you.